Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very special little episode that we're doing here to present a few things, a few changes, and some exciting things for this community that we're a part of. And we're really excited about these changes. And I'm one of your co hosts, Tom Hunyadi. I'm joined by my partner in crime, Andy Nichols. And we are Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast. And we've been doing this show together now for 6 years, so going on seven, I think it is. So, Andy, my friend, how you doing?
Very good, and really excited to announce this new kind of adventure into Two Legs territory and help grow a show that you started way back in 2016 and continue to grow this show and be a part of it and share it with everybody.
Right, yeah. In 2016, when my cousin David and I started this show, it's just like I think, like a lot of people say, we never really expect how far it will go, how long you could do it. Yeah, you can be big-headed and say that show's gonna last 10 years.
Uh,
Be lucky if you last, 6 months. But anyways, we're here with a very special friend, Kyle Han, who's been a big help with these changes and these exciting things that we're gonna be doing in the future. Kyle, how you doing, my friend?
Hey everyone, I'm doing great. Thanks Andy and Tom for having me on. For me, I am just have been, always will be huge admirer, supporter of you guys in the show. So I'm just happy to help with whatever's next.
from the day
Thank
that
you.
we met in
Yes.
2022 at the fest, and you were like, "I don't want to go up and talk to them. I'm too scared." And you've become such an ally and a dear friend of us as the years have gone on, and we've become good friends and collaborated. And so happy that you provided some suggestions for us to grow the brand and move forward here in 2025. Here, I mean, Tom and David started as an audio only thing in 2016. When I joined in 2019, we entered the YouTube era, and here we are now 6 years later. So it's been a great growth over that time.
Yes, that's right. And like you said, we started in 2000. What was it? 2019. You joined, and the show has been slowly, steadily inclining and getting the community's been getting bigger and bigger. Almost everywhere we go, every event we go, we seem like we run into fans that come up to us and tell us what they love, what we're doing. So I'm really excited to announce this. Andy, why don't you, well, before we get to that, we've been talking about finding a way to keep going. We've been talking about what we're going to be talking about here a little bit over the years, and we thought, well, maybe we shouldn't do this, maybe we should do this. We'll check it out. But with Kyle Hand's suggestions, it's really come together nicely, and I really love what Kyle's has brought to the table. We're going to talk about that in a second. But Andy, we really have been trying to find a way to keep growing the community, and you've been a big part of that with coming onto the show and helping grow with your technical professionalism and getting us into the YouTube world and all over the internet. So now let's take it to the next step. And what is that next
Well,
step, Andy?
the next step is to connect with everybody more. YouTube's great. Um, we want a way to connect to everybody more, and there's platforms now to do that. And we're gonna. That's why Kyle made some suggestions, and I was familiar with some of those programs and some of those apps. We did launch a Patreon, and we have a couple subscribers, and we've overhauled it now. We've really defined our tiers, and it's just a way for us to kind of connect and continue doing what we do as we grow this channel, and we put out the content, and we do other stuff because we do it because we love it, and we know that our fans and our viewers love it too. Because at the end of the day, we're the same as you. We're just fans of a guy whose music we love and research and study and absorb and geek out about and do all these things that we text each other's crazy about. Sometimes in the middle of the night, sometimes in the middle of the workday. We just do it because we're all cut from the same cloth. We love this guy so much, and he gives us so much joy. So by launching into these new platforms, it's another way to connect with you all. And the levels of the Patreon are clearly defined, and we're going to turn it over to Kyle now, and he's going to tell us all about it.
Okay, yeah. So first of all, before the tomatoes start flying my way, no, I did not put a bug in Tom and Andy's ear and
No,
say, "Hey, you should start charging everybody." The show is free, has been free, always will be free. I think
yes,
that's part of the
Yes.
mission of Two Legs, as these guys, as podcasters, saying we want this community to be as big as possible, as big of as the love of Paul in our hearts. So it's not confining anything. Really, what it is we're on, or we're on such a great path of the show growing and evolving, and so anybody who's willing to contribute with a monthly donation, you're going to get perks. And I think that the perks are just, I'm a Patreon subscriber for many independent creators, and it's just such a great way to get involved with the community and to support independent artists you love and get something back. And so we really thought a lot about these perks and how we can just make it a win-win for everybody.
And here we go. And here we go. So this is our Patreon page. Okay. We had about a month or two ago, we had launched it. I came up with a couple of basic tiers, and Kyle being such a great guy and supporter, and the page, and this is something, an area that Tom and I really were not really interested in doing. And I just think he had some great suggestions. He said, look, this is great, but why don't we overhaul it a little bit? Let's look at it and figure out a way to give back to people and give some people some incentive to connect with you. So we've come up with 3 tiers. Okay. The first tier is Two Legs Over Europe, early access at $5 a month. $5 a month gives you early access to every episode, depending on when we record it. Sometimes we record it on a Monday. Sometimes we record it on a Wednesday or Thursday. We drop on Saturdays. You'll get the show at the latest 24 hours before it goes to the general public. Sometimes you might get it 5 days, 6 days out. It all depends on when we record, because as you know, this is just a hobby Tom and I do. So sometimes our schedules have to jive to do that. You'll also get a free shirt, as we're all wearing here, courtesy of the MVP. White or black, just tell us your size and you'll get that as well too. And you've got that. We've got the Two Legs Over Europe right there at tier number 1, early access. Okay. Tier 2, which we think is the best overall one. And this is the one that we're most excited about, because this is the one that will make us really connect with you off air as it is. And this is the Two Legs Over America community. In addition to the Two Legs Over Europe perks, Two Legs Over America subs can access our Two Legs Discord server. Chat with me, Tom, and our Patreon community anytime about Mac. If we hear of any Paul breaking news, we'll share it with you first. Plus, we're really excited about doing listening parties on Discord, where we can talk about each track after we play it in real time. Anniversaries of an album or anything coming out. That's all going to be on Discord. So Kyle, tell the viewers out there about Discord who may not know what it is, as a young guy who's very familiar with it and uses it. Give them the breakdown.
Okay. So Discord is one big group chat. And if you are somebody that likes organization and is afraid of just chaotic group chats blowing up your phone every 2 minutes, fear not. This is organized into different conversations that are always ongoing, but also just whenever we want to have them. So we made all these different subcategories for tours and concert info. Paul goes on tour this year, next year. You are going to be the first to hear about it before they even make that announcement video on their channel. We're going to put it in the
Discord. Yeah.
Then we, just a silly picture or video from past or present of Paul, just put it in there. Let's talk about it. Let's, we have fun, silly conversations about it.
Right. Like I threw the SNL video in there that, like, as soon as it dropped the next day, we put it in there.
Exactly.
We have so there's all these different channels, right? And you could call them group texts if you want, if it's easier. You can go to these channels, and those of you that watched the Sunday live show that I did with Kyle and Tony 2 Sundays ago, we talked about the kind of mock country album that Paul did, and we had a great time putting that together. Kyle made the links for that. We dropped them in here. So if you're on Spotify or Apple Music, you can see Paul in the Heart of the Country, and those songs that we agreed upon. Took us 2 hours to do it, but we did it, and we got them. Okay, another tab here called collecting. Okay, I got a copy of Mono Masters in. I shared it, and I'm like, this is the instant ability to share what we got. Kyle just got last week. He got a copy of McGear. Got it for $10. Threw it in there. Oh, so awesome. So awesome. So then there's me. McGear for $10. Not bad. And I said, no, sadly, that rare box set is still bouncing through the postal service.
Oh, yeah.
As you know, because Kyle was asking, was that the one that got lost? And it wasn't. So things that we talk about on air, we can just all do through here. Okay. And then we have one here called non-Maca music. And Kyle said, "Oh, we talked about the Lemon Twigs, who I think they were mosh pitting. So I'm sorry, guys, if I pushed you away at Bowers Ballroom." But Kyle knows the Lemon Twigs and said, "Hey, look, if you don't know this band, here's a good song. Check it out." So we have a channel for non-Maca music. My favorite channel, probably on the Discord, is the Spin It On one that we came up with, where we can share what we're currently spinning in Maca World. And Kyle sent in a picture of Cold Cuts, and I'm like, "This is so great." And he asked everybody what our favorite track on Cold Cuts was. I said Cage. Subscriber Dane Sawyer, who's on here, he said Cage as well. And then we have one here just for our latest shows. So this is just the tip of the iceberg with the Discord. And I know it's more of a younger thing, and if our viewers and subscribers out there aren't familiar with it, just give it a shot. I mean, I have it, and it's great. It's a great way to connect. And again, as Kyle said, it's a way to do all this social media stuff without your phone blowing up, right, bud?
Yeah, and it's a lot like a Facebook page or like a Facebook group, but I think that what Discord does better is just the organization, right?
Yes.
Like you're not, trying to scroll through things to find a post, find a photo. It's all just on top of each other.
Ads.
Yeah, ads, forget about it. Like no bots, because obviously only people that are contributing to the show, can be part of this. So it's just, if you get something, you just pop up collecting, boom, there it is, and then you just instantly get all these, hearts of people, nerding out with you about
With
it.
you at the same time, and it doesn't have to be like a text message. It's all you're all
Yeah.
sharing within this one app, and it could be at midnight. It's great. It's a great way to connect. So that's like the highlight of the second tier.
And also, I would say to put a pin or just to put a button on that,
Yeah.
I feel like my favorite part of Two Legs in the past, like 6 months, it's been a while. Both of you have been doing lives weekly, for how long would you say? Over, at least 6 months, right? 9 months, even
Almost a year, probably
almost
for
a
me.
year. Yeah. So, and I love those. I love talking with all the listeners in the chat. With I should probably cool it with my all caps messages, but anyway, um, I see the Discord as just like the 24/7 version of that.
That is such a great way to describe that, because we can all engage in live. And I think it's one of the best things that me and Tom decided to do over the last year was go live. I mean, and some people poo-poo it, and we don't go live every day, but it's a nice recap. Tom does his thing middle of the week and calls it the midweek Maca break, and breaks it up and talks about what he's doing, and what he's gotten, what he's collected, and he has his audience he connects to, because that's what, when he goes live on a Wednesday or Thursday, that's his audience. I do the same thing on Sunday with the Sunday family, and I know that everybody, Kyle, you turn in more on Sundays because it's all based on work schedules, right? So that's the beautiful thing about doing this together. We do shows together that we have a great time doing, whether it's authors or producers or anybody, and then we can have our own time where we just do this thing on our own, and it's so great. And the way to connect with people live in the comments, you're right, Kyle, this is an extension of that. Such a good point.
Right. It's a great way to connect with people no matter what their schedule is. So if I go live during the midweek, people who might be off Wednesday or Thursday or whatnot can join in. People have the weekends off, on the Sunday off, they can join Andy during the weekend. So we're trying to connect with everybody who are fans of the show, and welcoming new fans as well.
And I think that really is one of the best parts of the whole thing is the Discord thing, engaging with that. And I've had it for a while, and I had it on my own just to connect, to talk with friends, but I never thought to connect it to the Two Legs world. And I'm like, damn, that's such a great idea. So Kyle,
and Andy,
the hand on the run.
Second time I'm stopping you. I apologize. Before we move on, I think that is now a good time to announce our big event on March 16th.
Let me get through the last tier,
okay,
and we'll do that. So the last tier is a tier. Yeah, yep. Stay tuned. We've already got an event planned. You see, that's a little teaser, as said, as he's listening. Our last tier on the Patreon is Two Legs Over the World, VIP member. It's $15 a month. Okay, so in addition to, so you get everything that everybody else gets under any other tier. The difference is with this one is we can schedule, times to talk with you, whether it's just with me, whether it's just with Tom, or the both of us, in like a VIP at a mutually agreed time. Okay, so it will give you inside access to how we produce our show, some history, some inner circle type stuff. But as well, you have a chance to submit a question to us. So if we tell you that, hey, in a month's time, we're going to interview XYZ, you can submit a question for our show. As we produce that show and get the questions ready, we'll take your question and it'll go right to the top of the list for the guest that we have on for a future episode.
Mhm.
Whenever we discuss or make fantasy playlists or Maca mixtapes, links will be sent directly to you as well under this kind of two legs over the world VIP status. So that's the final tier. It's 3 tiers. It's basics 5, 10, and 15. We've already got 2 members at 5. We've got 5 members at 10 and 4 members at 15. It's very slow. And again, I want to reinforce what Kyle said. Our show will always be free, and it's always going to be free. We're not going to make special content or a special video and just kick it to the Patreon people. Our show will always be free. There's just ways to connect with us in another way. And I think that that's the best way to keep what the vision was that Tom started it when in 2016 was to do that and to grow it to this point. So let's tell them now about
Oh,
our
before
next
we
thing.
do that,
Go
how
ahead.
about just kind of to expand on the two legs over the world tier?
Sure.
So that is when you are all in and you want to contribute the most possible, to these guys every month, which by the way is pretty much like $5 an episode, like not including the lives and everything. But still, that is the top tier, and so we're pretty much just going to treat you like royalty for
VIP.
for being so generous. And I personally, as the person that makes these VIP playlists, I am just such a big fan, and it I'm so pleased to do it, because for the playlist that Tone and Andy and I made, man, that thing was magic. When I listened to that, and it's a Spotify playlist, but in our heads we had a side A and a side B.
Absolutely.
Just really actually just sitting on the subway in New York and just listening to, One More Kiss flow into Hey Diddle, into Biker Like an Icon. I was like, how does this work? Like, how is this so perfect? And because we worked so hard on it, and that's something, as a listener to the show for years, when they make playlists about collaborations. That was a recent one. You know or can't think it off the top of my head, or what any of these fantasy playlists that you all have made in the past. I always want to go the next step and say, okay, but what does it sound like? It's not just song titles.
Put it
It's
together in a playlist. Yeah.
And so that's just another way that if you love Paul and you love being part of the community, talking about Paul through two legs, it's just another great way to like extend that. And as a $15 a month, patron, we are so happy to bring that to you.
And
Thank you.
I think I listened to that playlist at work, like on repeat for about a couple hours. I'm like listening to the flow of these tracks. It was
Right.
really like, again, talking about it and listening to it is a whole other art form, which is so cool.
Right.
Go ahead, Tom.
So about 3 years ago, Andy, we started to do these listening parties, right? Anniversaries of albums,
Yes.
and a lot of people really had a good time with them. I mean, luckily the YouTube gods did only shut us down once, I
Once.
think.
Once.
Once. And it was a lot of fun. We got a lot of comments on them. People really enjoyed them. But we found a new way to hopefully connect with everybody, and that's through the Discord, correct?
Yes. So we are going to have our first listening party on March 16th, 2025 on Discord in anticipation of Venus and Mars coming out on the Half Speed remaster release, which is on the 21st of March. So we're going to be on there listening to it. We'll work on a mutually agreed time in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. Sorry, which is what we all are. I know here right now, and I know some of you all aren't. And I hope you can join us in there. But we'll listen to a track, we'll stop, we'll talk about it and say, man, I love that part of Rock Show where it's and then just geek out and go into the next track. And I think that's for our first listening party, what a great album to do as it's celebrating its 50th year. On the eve of this Half Speed remaster and all the goodies and the merch that we all ordered, which will be coming later that week. The shirts and the artwork and the posters and the slip disc covers, everything. So we're gonna make it. March will be Venus and Mars month here on Two Legs, and to do it on Discord. And we did it a couple times on YouTube. What did we do, Tom? We did new. We did off the ground.
Yeah, I think we did Pipes of Peace as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, we did quite a few. I think yeah, but we did get shut down once. I think it was for Pipes of Peace. I think we were playing the last song or something like that, and they completely shut
Yeah,
us
they
down.
fried us. But this is a great
Yeah,
way to do that and listen to it and not get shut down. So the listening parties, I mean, we are so excited to do that. And hopefully, and again,
yes.
it's as Kyle and Tom said, it's an extension of the lives off air, but on Discord. And we're so excited
Mhm.
about it. And we're really happy to announce this new growth and this new expansion of Two Legs and to connect with you guys out there on whatever level. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. Tom's still going to go live. I'm still going to go live. We're going to drop content and we'll engage and talk to you guys that way too. So it's again,
Great.
the ball's in your court, and anything that you guys want to do is great. We're not going to change anything. We're still going to be the same two guys that go to Fest, hang out, and we'll have a beer with you and shoot the shit and hang out. And that was the genesis. I know when I joined, Tom wanted. I just want this to be just a regular show of two guys shooting the shit at the bar talking about Paul McCartney, and that's what it still is.
And speaking of two guys shooting the shit at a bar, and also in the note of inclusivity, this is a work in progress. So I have faith that nobody will kind of hold us to this, but we're trying to coordinate some sort of localized two legs, meetup, where it can be attached, to the fest. Again, all this is pending, but it's not a ticketed event. You don't have to be
No,
a patron to show up to a bar. But that's the type
but
of
but
that's what's so special.
right, but that's where we'll talk about all that stuff too, right? So I mean that
Yes.
exactly all on there. So and we'll be there. And again, whether you're there or not, we see you at the Jersey City Hyatt, whether it's where we go or somewhere else, we're gonna hang and talk and
Mhm.
be a part of it all. And we're just so excited to go into this new chapter. I mean, every day I'm always amazed on how we connect our world and fandoms outside of our professional lives and our daily lives through
Mm.
this through the music of this man that just still continues to give us so much joy.
He just keeps
Still gives
giving.
us so
Yeah.
much joy. And go ahead, Tom.
And that's the thing is we want to show our gratitude towards everybody out there that has one have already joined the Patreon, and two, that has been with us for either 5 months, 2 years, or 9 years, however long the show's been going. We really want to show our thank you to you out there and show our appreciation. And don't forget the QR code too. We the Buy Me a Coffee.
Yeah.
That's still a thing. I mean, that's been very successful as well. If you want to, just say thank you, and here's $5 for to buy, to just to show your support. That's also appreciated. Again, like the Andy and Kyle saying, the show will always be free. This is not a requirement. It's just more or less a thank you for you guys for what you do, and then in return, we want to just do all these special things for you guys and show our appreciation as well.
Fantastic. So I think that'll put a button on it. Kyle, Tom, any last words?
I'll just say, as a child of the internet, there's so many downsides of the internet that have been
Right.
talked about so much. This right here is like the benefit, like the point of the internet, where I can just have this, obsession with Paul. I don't have to go to the mountains and like scream about it. I can just, bond with these people from, all different walks of life, all over the world, about this thing that we all love. That at this listening party, finally, they're not going to say, like my friends do, "Isn't that a little loud?" They're going to say, "Turn that up!
Turn that
Come on, it's Rock Show."
turn it up.
So that's what I'm here for. I'm just so pleased to be part of the community.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
So
just want to make this a fun, positive experience.
Yes.
And yeah, we might not like everything, but we can all agree and disagree respectfully and have a good time and talk about it. And again, let's be positive, have a great time, and that's all this is going to be.
yeah, it will. So the link to our Patreon is in the description box below. Take a look to that. And if I highlighted it here on the episode here where we just did it, just to show you real quick. But if you want to look at the Patreon page in detail, click the link and take a look at it in depth and read through it. If you have any questions, just send us an email or DM us or anything, and we'll go over. Happy to answer your questions. I know a few people had messaged me saying, "Does Patreon accept PayPal?" because they didn't want to use their credit card. I think they do. I'd have to do some research into that. I know that one of our viewers asked that question. So if you're not sure about I'm not sure about Patreon or even Discord, message us. Okay, between Tom and myself and Kyle, happy to answer your questions and get you signed up for us. And we're excited to be a part of it. 2025, man, and the Maca train's rolling on.